Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review. During my birthday month of June. And for the next one that series of videos that I want to be reviewing is another one of the animated films I'll be reviewing. Now with this movie, I've seen long ago when it first came out, and I liked it back then, and watching it now, I still like it. I thought it'd be just a little bit better than I remember it. And for it's the Nickelodeon movie from 2006, Barnyard, the original Party Animals. So yeah, Barnyard is from 2006, made by Nickelodeon Movies. The film was released with negative reviews, has a 5.6 on IMDb, and has a 22% Rotten Tomatoes. But the film was a hit overall, made like 77 million domestically and worldwide 116 million, with its budget of 51 million. So the film was a hit, and it was a hit enough that it spawned a TV series based on the film called Back to the Barnyard, which I have right here. Season 1, which I got in a video, and this one I got off the shortly after they gave this one, I got the other one off. So no video on this one though, but still, it spawned a TV show. It only lasted 2 seasons. But the first film I do enjoy, and like I said before, with the series, it's decent. It's not all that great, but I think it's better than some of the Nickelodeon shows that I've heard of that came out like past couple of years, especially for these I would say pretty much these lame live action TV ones, like what was it, Thundermans, or these other ones that just like, I don't think it's not all that funny. I don't see how that's funny. I've seen the commercials and the TV spots, and it's like, I would say that the TV show for Barnyard is much better. Yeah, so it's shows like those, like the Thundermans, or there was other ones where Sam and Cat, and that was a spin-off of iCarly, and then Victoria Justice, that show. I never care for those shows, so I would probably say Barnyard is much better and much funnier. It's those type of shows that I don't care for, but I think that the show is decent. So, but with the film, I think the voice cast does a fair enough job. It stars Kevin James, who plays Otis, the cow. Supporting cast, you have Courteney Cox as playing another cow named Daisy. Sam Elliot as Ben, who plays Otis'S father, but technically adopted father, because it's not really his son, because he explains that how Ben, when he found Otis when he was a little guy, found him and then raised him. But he technically say he calls him his dad. So, but Sam Elliott as Ben, Danny Glover as Miles. He's a donkey. Wanda Sykes as Bessie, another cow. Andie MacDowell, who stars in films like Four Weddings and a Funeral, and also in Groundhog Day. She's a voice of a hen. David Koechner, who's another comedic actor, other comedy films. He's plays the villain, basically, named Dag. He's a coyote. So that's like the main principle of the cast. And other characters, you have a guy named Pip, who's a mouse, which I think is voiced by the same guy who voiced Sheen in Jimmy Neutron. And of course, Jimmy Neutron. Now, with also the spin-off series of Jimmy Neutron called Planet Sheen, where Sheen is on his own way, meeting characters that kind of resemble from the characters from back on his planet. Now, Jimmy Neutron, the film, I like. The series is decent though. I never watched too much of that show, but Planet Sheen I never got into. I think it's an unnecessary spin-off of a side character I never actually cared about. So, but the voice of that character Sheen is the same person who voices Pip the mouse. And then there's Pig, which that's his name is Pig, you know, a pig named Pig. Then you have another character named Duke, who's a dog. Then you have a character named Freddy, who's a ferret. And then you have a rooster named Peck. So you have all these characters here, and in the film, you know, Ben, he's the one who's all these animals. They're in charge. You know, when the farmer goes away, you know, the cows, you know, they're living like humans. You know, they're talking and doing all that stuff. You know, and so when the farmer's away, like even when the farmer comes back, they act like ordinary animals. But when the farmer's not around, they just basically act like humans. So, but Ben, he's the one who's in charge of the animals, and Otis, he's like he's not the type of one who's like wants to be like his dad. He wants to like have fun and all that stuff. We see him with Pig, Pip, Peck, and I think it was with them. And they've like try to like surf and like go off one cliff and they're sliding, and then while Ben's having a meeting, and you know, trying to keep the farm safe from the coyotes, and talking with his son Otis about, you know, responsibilities and all that stuff, but Otis, when he talks to his dad later again during the night about, you know, with the time when he found him, and Otis goes off back to the barn where everyone's having a big party and all that, and they have these two new cows that's at the farm, Bessie and Daisy. And while it's happening, Ben gets attacked by the coyotes. The pack comes in, led by Dag. They were gonna steal hens, and he comes in and starts fighting with the coyotes, and they're like overpowering him, like dogpiling on him, and he's just getting scratched and clawed, chewed at, and he pins Dag against something. He was gonna punch him, but he lets him go, and he gets severely injured, and the Otis comes to him, and then he was trying to say something, but then he dies, and he gets buried, and now Otis, you know, feels all the guilt. It feels all the guilt that they think probably was his fault and all that stuff, and then without Ben there, the animal's saying, "Who's gonna be in charge? Who's gonna be in charge?" And Duke says he's like, "Oh, I'll be in charge." And Danny Glover is the donkey Miles, like, "Oh, but you got flaws." He goes and throws a ball, and Duke chases after it, or gives him peanut butter. He's like, "This is nothing." There was also one point I forgot to mention. During the party, during the night, the farmer was seeing what's a commotion, what's happening in the barn. He sees him, and like Miles like knocks him out, and when he comes to, he knocks him on again. He's like, hey, and I was like, hey, don't do that. So they try to make it like they put him against a tree like he was like knocked out from a falling branch and wakes up there, and they even give him the book Charlotte's Web, which that within the same year in 2006 they made a live action remake of Charlotte's Web as well. But I was like, haha, Charlotte's Web. Or even during one part, there was like these roosters of throwing darts, and they're throwing a picture of Colonel Sanders, the person of KFC. Yeah, he's familiar with the chickens and all that stuff. It's supposed to be funny. I mean, I thought it was kind of funny, actually, throwing, because, the face of KFC, Colonel Sanders. I got a chuckle out of that. I don't know why. But yeah, this is stuff that I forgot I missed. But they all said that Otis is gonna be in charge, and everyone's like, hey, and they're all happy, trashing the place, celebrating, and even though he doesn't want to be in charge, but he has to now because he was elected fair and square. And there's what wasn't it? Later in the night, there's this which is a character is in the series. It returns in the series. This bully fat kid named Snotty Boy, but I think his name is Eugene. That's what they said in the series, Eugene. But it's called Snotty Boy. Fat kid, braces and all that. Cow tipping. They tip one cow, and there's these three other cows, I guess from another part of a farm. They call them Jersey cows, so they talk like the Jersey accents, whatever, and them and Otis, they steal the farmer's neighbor's car named Nora. Yeah, Nora Beatty, the farmer's neighbor. And of course, like in the series and this, she sees that the cows, they're talking, doing all this stuff. No one believes her because even the husband thinks that she's crazy, losing her mind. So they drive all the way to his house. They sneak it through his window and they push him boy tipping, and the kid freaks out because he sees the cows talking and all that stuff. He's like, ah! And the parents come rushing him as they get out, and the father said something. I forget what he said though. So they're driving back. They get chased by the cops, and they say the people person in the cop car is videotaping. They get chased, and there's a helicopter, and they lose the cops by pretending they're ordinary cows, and then they just go and bring the car back. But you see that character snotty boy in the series again, as does Nora and her husband. But Otis, he wants to be alone, but then when Daisy comes in, just wants to talk, and which is actually thought that Daisy is a pregnant cow. But when and he's also explained to her how when his dad found him. And when he hears the coyotes howl, he goes after them. He's trying to be brave and all that. But when he's surrounded, he's not really like his dad, and try to fight some and all that. And Dag tries to leave. By the next night, we'll take the hens and let everyone else live and all that stuff. But by the next day, in broad daylight, they take the hens anyway. So now Otis, he was gonna run away, leave the farm. But when he heard about the chickens, and so he decides he's gonna go there by himself and confronts them in this junkyard where the pack is at, because they're gonna cook them, the chickens. So he tries to fight him off, but he gets just like his dad piled on. So, but he's not giving up. And then his friends come in, which is Pig, Pip, Peck, Freddy, and Miles. So they're fighting the Coyote Pack. Miles does, like, do what I do, and goes and kicks them, and yeah, they beat the pack, and Dag was about to pounce on Otis, but he grabs him and pins him to this bus and says, I am Ben's kid. Never come back. And he throws him on the ground. He uses like a golf club and swings and boots him out. Gives him the boot. So they're gonna get back. They take some guys' motorcycles, and this is where they're riding together on motorcycles. And Nora, the neighbor, sees them. Oh, those cows are going crazy again, and this and that. And of course, no one believes her. Her husband doesn't believe her. So then they thought that Daisy has given birth to a baby calf. Names him Ben after his father, and then Otis is gonna be the leader in charge of the farm. And well, at least I think like what he's gonna be like. I guess he's gonna be like the adoptive father and like husband to Daisy, I guess. But the thing is, though, in the series, Daisy is replaced by another female cow named Abby, who's kind of like a tomboy type of girl and all that. So with Daisy and the little baby calf not mentioned in the series, and of course Kevin James' voice been replaced, and the donkey Miles, Danny Glover's character, is not on the show either. But the same voices of Pip, Pig, and the others. Well, I don't think Andie MacDowell voices the hen either. Wanda Sykes is as Bessie. She comes back as the voice in the series. All the other voices, they come back as well. But it's better than I remember, because I remember seeing it. I only see it once or twice. I saw it back in 2006 when it came out. And I saw another time a few years ago. So watch it again. It's a little better than I remember. It's better than some of the other ones that's made by Nickelodeon movies. A lot better than Last Airbender, or a lot better than the Ninja Turtles films. So, but I'm saying released by Nickelodeon movies. The music by John Denby was decent. It's there, because John Denby, I know he's done scores on a lot of movies. So I have one in particular. I remember The Relic. That's one particular score from him. I do remember without a doubt. The pacing was there. It's only about 90 minutes, but it's there. For features, has a music video. Has like the voice talents behind voicing the characters. Voicing the characters. The cast voicing them. Deleted scenes and an optional commentary, and another commentary with the director and the producer. Which I liked. I like the ones with the cast doing their voicing recordings. That's what I like. There's one like in Alpha and Omega. There's one where they have the cast voicing their recordings. But I like seeing that. That's a feature I like seeing. Other ones that if they have the voice recording feature. But yeah, Barnyard. It's a really It's not one of my favorite anime films, but I think it's I'll give it a solid. I'll give it that. I'll give it a solid. I would say it's more than decent, so I'll just give it a solid one. But then came the TV series, which is only 11-minute episodes, like the same length as SpongeBob episodes. I don't know if I'm gonna review if I'll review these, but maybe sometime later though, but not now. I'm not trying to review every single. Well, I'll give a list of my favorite episodes, but not every single episode though. But I'll get to the show spinoff sometime later, if I want to review it. But the film itself, Barnyard, the original Party Animals, I do enjoy the film. So I give it a solid rating to me. The 22% Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, I'll give it a little more higher rating than that. 5.6. I would say 5.6 is is understandable. But yeah. But the voice cast was pretty decent. Kevin James, Courteney Cox, Sam Elliott, Danny Glover, and the rest of the voice cast. I thought they were pretty decent. But the series is not. The series is I think is pretty decent. It's a lot better than some other Nickelodeon shows of today. But the film, I'll give it 1 thumbs up for it. Listen to me, but if anyone's seen the film, I would recommend it. If you don't like the film, I can understand that. But I know because when Rotten Tomatoes rated it, they say it's called unimaginative and unfunny. Overall, to me, I think I would disagree with that. I mean, yeah, unimaginative. We're talking animals, like we all said before. I can understand that part. We're talking animals. Unfunny. I got a couple of chuckles in the film, so. But Barnyard, I would give it a solid. Pretty solid out. That's what I'm trying to mean. It's pretty solid, I would say. It's not one of my favorites, but it's a decent animated film. Harmless. That's what I'll basically say. It's a harmless animated film. So yeah, that's Barnyard, and yeah, hope you enjoyed the review of the film. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned on the next one for birthday June, I would say. My birthday month of June. So that's another one. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned on the next movie review. Later.